Sand. Hey everyone, so this week we're going to be going over how to do a basic water change in a planted tank with sand as a substrate. So stay tuned.
You're just living, man. You're just there in that moment, in that special place and time.
Okay everyone, so to start out, I would like to talk about what's in my tank, like substrate wise, and then what tools I'm going to use to do the water change, and then we're going to talk about doing water changes with sand because it does have its own challenges compared to other substrates, more like rocks. As you can tell, mine's kind of a mix. That's because of the type of sand that I got, which I really cheaped out and I got like $4 sand, so that's why. But yes, so we'll be talking about that. So let's get started. So to start out with, let's talk about the sand. So this is basic $4, no joke, $4 giant bag of sand from Home Depot. I rinsed it like crazy. Rinsed it like a madman. But as you can tell, rocks still came in it. I did not put those in there. That came with the sand. I was not excited about that, and I'm still not, but you know what? It looks okay. The Cory cats seem to be okay with it, and there's still sand in the back of the tank back there, enough to keep them happy, at least, you know, digging around the sand. The Cory catfish love to have sand substrates because it doesn't hurt their bristles, doesn't hurt their barbs, that's what I was trying to say. As you can tell, they have barbs, and they love to dig around in the sand and just have fun. Have a good old time. So, I am running underneath the sand about an inch layer. It was an inch when I started. This tank goes down a bit farther, so it goes down pretty far into here. I'm running a fluorite substrate underneath the sand, so it's about an inch or so layer of fluorite, which is just healthy for any rooting plants or just the bacteria in the tank in general. And then about an inch layer of sand. It's thicker in the back because of how the water flow is in my tank. Now let's move on to the tools. So, for starters, I have my buckets. I have 2 buckets because I don't like to stop the water flow. Once I have the siphon going, I like to keep it going. Of course, I have my siphon. I have a sponge right there for scrubbing the glass of the tank. I do want to get a magnet, but I don't have one yet. But the sponge works. I use the same sponge every time. That way I'm not, spending a lot of money on sponges, plus it has the old bacteria in it, so it's not really unhealthy for the fish in the fish tank. And so yeah, and then also have for the plants, I have tools. These are scissors, tweezers, different types of tweezers, scrapers for the plants, and we'll cut up some plants today and show you guys a little bit of that too, just for fun. So I think now we can get started on cleaning the tank, and you guys get to see how I do that with sand substrate and plants. And heck yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's get started. So first things first, I'm going to remove all the glass on the top of the tank, the lid, and the lights. And then we'll get to the next part. Also, I'm going to turn off all the power. Like stuff like the filter, the heater, all the air stone going on in there. Okay, now big important step is that you don't wash your hands. Make sure that your hands are probably used. Maybe if you can, run some fish water over them, some old tank water to keep them nice and not like too clean. You don't want to release too many oils into the tank. Like don't have hand sanitizer on your hands. Never good. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drain a little bit of water from the top of the tank, just a little bit, just enough to put about like this much in my bucket, maybe a little bit more, and then I'm going to stop the siphon And then I'm going to grab my filter, because I have an AquaClear filter, take it all out, and I'm going to clean it in there. That's very important because you want to keep all the bacteria alive in your filter. You don't want to go to your sink, and then even if you have a good tap like me, you don't want to be going to your sink and rinsing off all that good bacteria. You know, it actually does not help get rid of algae. You want to have that good bacteria in there, and it can help kill some of the problem algae that we have in our tanks. And just let you know, no tank's going to be 100% algae free, as you'll see, and also in my other tank that I will show in a week to come or so. So let's get started. I'm just going to take a little bit out of the top and clean the filter, and I'll show you guys how I do that. Okay, so now that I have my filter in the bucket with a little bit of water in it, I'm going to start just rubbing around the media and all the stuff just to get all the algae off. Now, I let my tank sit for over a week just to kind of do this video, and also my other tank as well. Now, spoiler alert, my other tank is absolutely filthy, and it's terrible, it's embarrassing. It's a 10-gallon. And I completely think it's because of the filter. I do not have a AquaClear filter on there, and in a couple weeks or a week or so, I'm gonna release a video on my review on the AquaClear filter versus the Quiet Flow filter, which I did used to have in this tank. So you guys are gonna get to see that. There, way better than it was. Way better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that as it focuses. I'm gonna take this and put it back in the filter so I can get the rest done. Now the next part. Now most, or all AquaClear filters come with a bag of charcoal, pretty much. And I personally do not like the charcoal that comes with filters because it doesn't last very long. It's not very money efficient. It's nice for a really short period of time, but it doesn't last long. So actually what I bought here is some, is this stuff. It's this right here. It's Seachem. I'm not sponsored, by the way. Purigen. Seachem Purigen. And basically what it does is it's like this media rotates down here. There's really fine sand in here in this bag. None of it leaks out. And it makes your water look completely clear. It's super nice, way better than the charcoal. Or if you want, you can just get rid of the charcoal and get a whole other sponge and put that in there as well. Whatever you guys want to do, it works. So you can kind of DIY this filter, and it works. That's why I like it as well. It's bigger too than the AquaClear. But I'll be talking, not the AquaClear, but than the Quiet Flow. So I'll be talking about that in a later video. So I kind of got this pretty clean. Scrubbed it around a bit in there. There's a lot of algae on this stuff because I kind of let it go for a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back in. Then I'm going to get the big sponge, the dirtiest part, all cleaned up. Now onto the dirtiest part of the task. And actually this thing is so dirty. It's so dirty. I'm actually going to go dump it. And then I'm going to come back. Now partially why my filter is especially dirty this week, it's usually not this dirty, but especially dirty, is because this is the first time I actually have that new wood in my tank, that piece of spider wood. This is the first week of me having it, I think, or second week. So it's getting a lot of extra stuff out of it. Now real quick, one thing I forgot to do before we actually get to clean the glass is we need to clean the filter tubes. So I'm going to pull those off the AquaClear, and I'll shove them in here and show you what I do. This is what I mean by cleaning the tubes. These things are filthy, so let's get these clean. So let's get in here, clean these. I'm going to pull them apart because there's two. I'm just going to whoosh them around the water. Get all that extra dirt and crap out of there. Of course, again, I'm doing this in the tank water. I don't want to do it with fresh water out of the sink. It'll kill the bacteria. To get deep inside here and clean this, I'll take some filter floss and I'll try to stuff it inside and get as much in there as possible. and we're done. So let's go ahead and clean the glass of the tank. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna get my sponge wet. I'm gonna go ahead and like scrub up and down the glass on the inside, and that's pretty simple, pretty basic. I only use the hard, scruffy part for green spot algae, and it actually gets it right up off the glass. So you guys are gonna go ahead and see this in time lapse. Now the next part is going to be doing the plants. So I'm going to get my scissors out here. Now I'll zoom in on it. We do have some dead plants, some dying, not plants, but dead leaves that we'll trim off, because when you trim those dead leaves, it promotes healthy plant growth. Is it still recording? Cool. So the straw from back here has one dead leaf, kind of dying leaf. I'm going to go ahead and trim off just to make sure everything's okay. Get some more light over there. Okay. That one down here. Now this one does have some babies on it, and I'd hate to lose those babies. So I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to try to see if I can get those babies off there. Okay. As you can possibly see, there's some babies on that. So I'm going to try to get those off. I'll take them out of the water, and I'll try to get them off. The next one we're going to try to trim is this plant right here. I actually don't know what it's called. Please leave in the comments. I could look it up, but I just don't know. This one right here, it's got some yellow ones. Definitely ready to go. Yes.
She needs an adverb.
So now we'll move on. I think that's all the plants we need to trim, and we will go to siphon down the water, and that's where I'll show you guys how to clean the sand in this tank. Show you guys how to get the sand all cleaned up and how to not suck up all the sand at the same time. Okay guys, so now we're getting to the point to where we're actually going to clean the sand. Kind of the point of this video. I'm going to show you guys how I go through and clean my sand. Now here's the cool part about sand. When you have a mano shrimp and other guys like that, they normally you don't normally ever have to clean your sand. You don't usually have to go in there and really ruffle it up. That's what I found. Occasionally you do want to poke it with a stick and get some air bubbles underneath it out, because sand is really dense. And so I'm just going to go here and show you guys what I do, how careful I am with it, and how you can clean a tank maybe that has more poop in it than mine. If you're feeding more hardy fish and don't have as many bottom feeders like mano shrimp to help clean up. So yeah, let's get started. I keep zoomed in on this one spot just so you guys could see. Now instead of just sticking the siphon down there, you're going to go like this. Back and forth motions, it stirs it up, and anything that's dirty, it's going to get picked up. Like poop, anything like that, floaters, it's going to pick it up for sure. Oop, anything like that. Anything down in there. Just back and forth. Gets it all nice and clean. Awesome. So now, in time lapse, you guys are going to see me kind of siphon out the rest of my tank. So enjoy, sit back and relax. one thing I forgot to mention, guys, is that this tank water, this dirty tank water, plants love this dirty tank water. So what I'm going to do is actually going to take some, and I like to dump it in my house plants I have. Yep. Okay guys, so this is about as far as you need to go with the water change. I'm doing about 50%, maybe a little bit more water change on this time. Usually I do a bit less, but my tank was extra dirty. So, and I do promote you guys, I really want you guys to try to do a water change. It's really best to do it once a week. I know stuff can get in the way, but once a week is best. So now we're going to move on to the part of me filling up the tank. So that's super basic. And then I'll show you guys the final product. Okay guys, got the tank all cleaned up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week I'm going to be uploading videos about a video about the aquacooler filter. Sometime in the future we're going to do a feeding video, some awesome cinematography going on with my fish eating, because they eat a lot of different stuff and they're pretty fast at eating. So yeah, so that's it for this week's video. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, comment down below if you have any questions or critiques on my half. So see you next time.
You're just living, man. You're just there in that